Well, there aren't that many scientists, There are a lot of people who act out the role of scientists, but that's not the same thing.
Yeah.
Right? Scientists are very peculiar people when they're real. So that's been sort of my approach to it, is like, how dare you tell me I can't ask the question? Because there's more than enough evidence that there's something worth studying. And people mix up evidence with proof. Data sits in isolation and has no meaning whatsoever. It only has meaning in the context of a hypothesis. And, so does the hypothesis and the data match to mean that it is perhaps evidence? Evidence, just as in court, is not proof of anything. That requires a jury to decide whether or not the evidence is sufficient to, manifest guilt or not. The same thing in a paper. There's very few papers that you will ever read that ever say there is, at least in biology, this is a conclusion. There's all kinds of weasel words that we as biologists use to give ourselves diplomatic egress, just in case. So, but, when people like Neil deGrasse Tyson say there's no evidence, well, that's just a lack of understanding of what the difference between data and evidence is. There's reams of evidence. There's libraries full of evidence. There's books I could drown people in that with evidence. But that's not a conclusion. That's not what we think of as scientists as proof.